Alabama first and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we played the summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I started in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. But he was telling us to the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I learned that thing back fast. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, let's get it.
Good morning. Oh, man, it's May 20th, and I told someone yesterday I don't even require any prep for tomorrow's show. I prep, I read, I make sure I'm kind of in the know. Not today, Fire Sale Friday, and it's all about the GOAT and one of his kids. Somebody said, Daddy, you're going to have to stop doing that. You can't talk about us that way. What am I talking about? Oh, man, it's going to be a fun day. This is the Martin Houston Show, the Sound of Bama Sports, your show, your team. Welcome back into a Fire Sale Friday on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Take some time. Come on now. Be nice to one another. Don't follow the example of what we saw yesterday, or maybe, just maybe, what we saw yesterday was exactly what Coach Saban said and wanted and drove for. Yes, he came back and he apologized, said I should not have singled anyone out. He didn't say he didn't apologize for his complaint. He apologized for singling someone out. In other words, he's saying I should have said all these people buying players is not sustainable. Because he still believes that. But in his calling out, and I'm going to play that audio. I want to get that audio where he calls out the three coaches. I mean, the three programs, and he didn't call them by name, but called the programs out. It's interesting. It got a coach fired up, a program fired up. It got the SEC commissioner setting the agenda. Did Nick Saban say and get exactly what he wanted? Coach Nick Saban, here's that audio. And I just want to make sure everybody has heard, which I'm sure everybody has, but I want to make sure everyone has heard what Nick Saban said. Then we'll get your responses to the responses of everything else that's happened out there. Here's Coach Nick Saban at what was it, Joe? $1,000 plate dinner, something like that. So I want to tell you, when you teach scripture, part of what you do is you take what's said, what's the context, and who the audience is. Was the audience Jimbo Fisher? Was the audience Deion Sanders? Was the audience Miami? Or was the audience those people at the dinner? Here's Coach Nick Saban calling out those who bought players.
and you've read about them. You know who they are. I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it. So it's tough, and people blame the NCAA. But in defense of the NCAA, we are where we are because of the litigation that the NCAA gets, like the transfer portal. Every time somebody wanted to transfer, they'd apply for a waiver. If you didn't give them, the NCAA didn't give them a waiver so they could be immediately eligible, they filed suit. So the NCAA would back off and give them a waiver. So they just said, we're just going to make a rule where everybody can transfer. That's how that happened. So if the NCAA doesn't get some protection from litigation, whether we got to get an antitrust or whatever it is, from a federal government standpoint, this is not going to change because they cannot enforce their rules. Just like Nate said, we have a rule right now that says you cannot use name, image, and likeness to entice a player to come to your school. Hell, read about it in the paper. I mean, Jackson State paid a guy $1 million last year that was a really good Division I player to come to the school. It was in the paper, and they bragged about it. Nobody did anything about it. I mean, these guys at Miami that are going to play basketball there for $400,000, it's in the newspaper. The guy tells you how he's doing it. So, but the NCAA can't enforce their rules because it's not against the law. And that's an issue. That's a problem. And unless we get something that protects them from litigation, I don't know what we're going to do about it.
All right, that's Coach Nick Saban. You need to listen to what he said, what he accused, and what he was looking for. I think some people miss what he was saying versus what the reaction. Let's go ahead and get Gary in from Ohio. Gary, you're in from Ohio on the Alabama One hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
Doing good, sir.
I just think Coach Saban's saying, all right, Jimbo, last year you cheated and you got away with it. And then this year, you not only are you trying to cheat, but you coming in my backyard trying to take my Alabama boys out of Alabama and take them to A&M. And I'm tired of it, you know. She did supposed to recruit some last year, but they weren't into the state of Alabama. But I had heard that A&M was coming in Alabama and offering all these kids all this money. And they said these children have wanted to play for Alabama since they were little bitty boys, 10, 12 years old. And we know that. We've been recruiting that crop. Now all of a sudden we get to the point that we're going to sign them. And you don't come in there and come in sideways, come in the side door, talking about, hey, I'm going to give you this much if you come play for me. And Saban said, that's enough. Enough this bull crap.
Well, see,
and Jimbo Fisher was so upset because guess what? He is paying. You know, he said we done nothing illegal, but he ain't. But what does an 8-4 coach deserve to get a #1 recruiting class? I know. He's had decent recruiting class in the top 10, top 5, but #1, and now he's in Alabama trying to take the top players out of the state of Alabama. They ain't gonna stand for it. He said enough is enough. I'm tired of this crap, and he just called him out.
Gary, Gary, you know, Nick Saban, that was a pre-crafted statement, okay? And I'm not even sure if it wasn't a planted question. I never heard the original question. But you notice he said, like Nate said, he and Nate had communicated on this, okay? He said they bought every player. They did an NIL deal for every guy they signed. You notice Jimbo never denied that. Okay, but here's the thing. Saban never said at that point. Saban didn't say whether he didn't say they cheated or anything. He said they bought every player by doing an NIL deal. Okay. Now the NCAA has a rule that says you can't entice that.
Right.
Okay, but hold on. The state of Texas doesn't have a rule that says you can't. Okay? So listen carefully to it. NCAA has a rule that says you can't. The individual states that have NIL rules, their rules supersede the NCAA. Okay? Keep listening to what he says. He says, so the NCAA can't enforce their rules. We have to do something that the NCAA can enforce their rules because A&M did this under the state rule, which may be different in Alabama, different in Florida, different in Texas, different in South Carolina. Okay, so Saban's saying that's why somebody has to do something so that the NCAA can enforce their rules. Okay, so you have a governing body who is superseded by a local governing body. And there is no consistency in that. That's what he was saying. And when you go back and listen, Jimbo Fisher said, first of all, he said what? He didn't. He said we didn't break any laws. We didn't break any laws. Saban never said you broke a law. Saban said you broke the NCAA rule. You get it? So technically, by the state law, he didn't cheat. He didn't break a law. He broke the NCAA rule. Now, if Saban has been cheating before, this is what I want somebody to tell me, Gary, and I'm going to let you respond, and I have to get to some more call. If Saban has been cheating under the table, why didn't he do it this year then, when he could have did it above the table? Saban came right back and said, we didn't pay a single player to come here. So you're telling me he paid players when he was having to cheat and hide and he had the boosters helping him. Now when he could have paid players, he couldn't get the boosters to help him?
No, you know he got great boosters.
No. My point is Jimbo said Saban has always cheated. Deion insinuated. Deion insinuated, he didn't come out and say, he insinuated that Saban has always paid players because now other teams can pay players legally. So my question to everybody out there is, if Saban has been paying players for 20-something years, and then he makes a statement that he didn't pay a player and entice a player to come to Alabama before he signed this year, how in the world would he not use the same boosters who were willing to cheat under the table to be above the table and get players to come?
Yeah, you're right, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it was like crazy. All right. Thanks, Gary. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Come back on the other side. We're going to continue the conversation. I want you to think about that. Joe, I want you to respond to that too, because I just want to. I'm not saying people hadn't cheated. I'm not saying there hadn't been stuff going on under the board and stuff at all schools. Okay, so I'm not. But I want someone to explain to me if he's been such a big time cheater, according to the way he was accused by Jimbo, when he had the chance to bring what he was doing under the table to above the table, why didn't he have to use that this year? Why didn't he have to use it this year? Is my question. If he came in number 2 and he didn't buy any players, if he had bought some players, he could have been still number 1. I guess that's what he's asking for the money for. We'll talk about it on the other side right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active
All
wrecks.
right,
Scheduled
let's
for
see.
good as we get started on this Friday morning. Of course, if you do see conditions throughout the morning and the day, give me a call. 405-886-8886. Now you can get a lifetime powertrain warranty on a used vehicle at Townsend Nissan. See dealer for details. You'll love it. I'm Captain Ray.
The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Work is a part of all of us. We know that the world around us has changed, and that's why the Alabama Department of Labor is here to get you back to working hard. Work is a part of all of us. Let us help you get back to it by visiting your
because we take pride in providing you with the best.
Good customer service and good food, good quality.
We want to make sure that we give that to them each and every time they come and visit us.
The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco Bell.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Okay, let's start unloading the sod over
The
here.
grass is always greener when Haruka's Lawn Care does the mowing.
And then we want to get the flower bed started before lunch.
They need a new landscaping designer to keep their budding business growing.
Can we double check the incline here? This one needs to drain this way.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another hot, dry day today. The sky partly to mostly sunny, the high 92. Tonight, mostly fair with a low at 72. Tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will likely develop by afternoon. The high at 88. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 72 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at softmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
I'm Marty back right now.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Hey, listen, all I want to know is if Saban, I think Jimbo, what did Jimbo say? Something about he never followed rules. Joe, he never followed rules, and something about how Bobby Bowden did it. Let me, if he cheated to get players before, why didn't he use the same strategy legally to go to number one? That's all. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. Let's see what Robert from Mobile has to say. Good morning, Robert. You're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, man. Well, Texas A&M, Alabama. Wow, there's gonna be a game now.
Yeah.
They want to see it begin with.
Do what?
It's almost like one of those old-fashioned wrestling competitions. Against each other, and the Ramses going back in the day. Boy, those are great times.
Did Jimbo forget to ask for immunity before his testimony? I mean, his press conference.
Yeah, he was a bit way
what?
too personal.
but hold on. He spent how many years with Nick Saban? 6, right? Okay. So does that mean that he cheated for 6 years as well?
Well, you knew about it.
No. He said he in his press conference he kept testifying and telling everybody, ask the coaches that coach for him. I'm sitting there going, reporters, why are y'all not asking Jimbo? What rules did Nick Saban break when you were coaching with him? He keep telling y'all to ask a coach that coached for him. You go back farther back than all of the guys who coach for him now. So tell us, Jimbo, what did Saban do? That's number one. Do you want me to believe that when he was at Florida State trying to be successful, Robert, losing 4 games his first year, 4 games his second year, all right, he gets it right. Now he only loses 2, and then he loses none and wins a national title with a first-round overall number 1 draft pick, right? Then he loses 1. And then, so what happened in those 3 years? Because in those 3 years, he lost 3 games total. Every other year at Florida State, he lost 3 or more games every single year. Okay? So
I think the reporter asked him about that too. Did somebody ask him, are you accusing Nick Saban of cheating?
Right.
And he
So
didn't want to say that.
but no, he did accuse him of cheating. He was accused. He said he's never done the rules right way. He went and learned from Bobby Bowden because he learned from Bobby Bowden, Robert, how to do it the right way and not from Nick Saban because he does it the wrong way. Y'all don't buy into that. I had Joe make sure before I made the statement online. What year, Joe, did Nick Saban come to Alabama?
2007.
What year did Jimbo Fisher go to Florida State?
Yeah, 2007.
What was the condition of Jimbo Fisher going to Florida State?
He went as head coach in waiting. It might have been a year later that they named him.
No, but he went there. No, you're right. He went there. They may have not publicly said it, but he went there for that reason, right? We all know that. But say he didn't go there that first year. Let's say he didn't get named coach in waiting to 2008. Tell me at what point that Nick Saban would have been able to offer him something that would have made him come to Tuscaloosa. Because he made the statement. That's why people don't go back and coach for him.
I had a chance to. I didn't go back and work for him.
When? Tell me when did he have a chance? 2007? The year he was named the OC at Florida State? And you have to go back and look at when he got named the OC at Florida State versus when Nick Saban was hired to be the head coach at Alabama. The rest of the – go ahead.
I guess in 2007 he had a chance. Hey, you asked the question about if Nick Saban was cheating all this other time. Why didn't he cheat then? Oh, he can make the second class, and he barely lost that too. He wasn't cheating. He can do a lot of cheating and still just come in second. Not that it proves anything, but yeah, you can do what's cheating and still just come in second because they're cheating a little more. Like they're paying every player.
No, but they're not. It's not cheating. What A&M did, Robert, was not cheating. Right, and you have to understand that Nick Saban said they bought players, and they came by. They went by the Texas law, and Saban is saying, you cannot enforce the NCAA rules because the state rules override them. And he's saying somebody, some way has got to put some boundaries around it and get all of us drinking from the same cup. Now,
it would have to be. You think the schools? I already get the government involved. but because he's lost to, it's difficult to do that. Which again,
No.
you got to, like Nick said, you got to have it where hey, you can't just keep going through it because you don't like the rules.
What they're gonna do. Yeah, I think what Nick Saban did is Nick Saban forced the hand of Greg Sankey in the SEC, and when they come out of these SEC rules, they may not have it all settled, but they're gonna have some agreements about how the 14 SEC schools do NIL. That's what he wants.
Yeah, but
He
unfortunately, that won't fix the problem though. You still got all the other schools, right? Jackson
what
State.
I don't think.
We all know. We all know. Nick Saban said out loud, everybody's been saying
Let me, and I have to run out this, Robert. But let me ask you this, Robert. Do you think the SEC is worried about the rest of the conference, or just worried about losing the players to each other?
Maybe just for now losing to each other, but it's going to quickly turn to losing other schools very fast.
Okay.
Those other schools are no joke either.
Huh?
Those other schools are no joke either as far as their ability to dole out the money.
I know that, but what we're not understanding is all he's saying is let's have guidelines. He's saying that's not. He's not saying let's not play players.
Right.
He's saying have one governing body. See, here's what Nick Saban wants. He wants everybody on the same sheet of paper, not necessarily on a small sheet. Right. So, right.
The game will get destroyed if they don't come together.
Right.
So they're gonna have to figure that out.
All right. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate you, man. Call back anytime. Have a good one, man. Let's get to Alan. Alan, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
What I'm also hearing is he's talking to alumni and he's talking to his big boosters. Hey, it's time for y'all to have to step up. The other teams are doing it. They want to play in the sandbox. Let's all play in the sandbox at the same time.
Oh, hold on. So you're saying that Nick Saban really didn't? He really wasn't. He really wasn't. He's really not concerned about Jimbo Fisher and Deion and Miami and basketball, right? Because nobody picked up the fact that he threw in basketball. So
everybody else is doing it. Hey, they want to play in the sandbox. Let us all play in the sandbox.
And so Deion Sanders said, I don't know if you saw his statement. He said, y'all know that Saban wasn't talking to Jimbo Fisher or and me. He was talking to his boosters. Have you not heard that?
Exactly. I honestly believe that. I mean, if you can do it, if it's good for the goose, good for the gander.
Hey, Joe, tell Alan where Saban made this statement at.
Yeah, they were at a World Games event at the Phoenix, which is a very nice restaurant, and apparently they were charging $1,000 a plate for this dinner.
And listen to what he says. We were the number 2 class. They were number 1. They bought every player, and we didn't buy a single one. I don't know if we can sustain this. It's tough. So he's saying, okay, guys, y'all want to go out here and brag about what we have at Alabama? We ain't gonna be able to not entice players from high school and or make sure that we do player deals to convince players to come. And if they're not going to be able to enforce the rule that said you can't entice, then y'all going to have to pony up. I would love for them to enforce the rule, and then I just deal with it once they get here, because I cannot recruit everybody at the high school level, and then once I get them here, I can get the deal done. I mean, you're right, Alan. He was talking to those guys. So, you got anything else before I let you go?
Yeah, also I believe media day is going. What's the chances of Alabama if you said you're going to be able to say at media day?
That's going to be interesting to see. I think they'd already put out the schedule, hadn't they, Joe? Of when?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's gonna be much watched TV if they end up together. But like I said, I think Jimbo, Xavier, with X's and O Sports, he and I were talking, and he said, you know, when you can't defend what you're being accused of, you go personal.
That's what he did. Exactly.
So.
You know, when we were kids, we go to one of those movie theaters, and we'd be here. We can hear the Coke can popping, but we can't actually see the Coke.
Yeah.
And we were sending subliminal messages, and that's what I believe Coach Saban was doing. He was sending subliminal messages to the alumni. Well, y'all do have a good day. I am in Chicago in the middle of traffic.
All right, be good. Thanks, Alan. Coming back on the other side, we'll get Aaron and Jumbo in. The Alabama One hotline is open for business. You can join the conversation as well. Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, it's double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama One, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Retired Colonel James Henderson, ordained minister.
Kay Ivey shut the churches down, but kept the abortion clinics open. Kay Ivey is aiding and abetting murder when she allowed the abortion mills to stay open. Lindy Blanchard is a defender of life. She adopts children. She stands for life. She's the most pro-life candidate for governor I've ever known. That's why I'm supporting Lindy Blanchard, the governor we need.
Paid by Blanchard for Governor, Box 241331, Montgomery, Alabama. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ask big. Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Osmond from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
He's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it,
more importantly, when she sees it,
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com, that's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Back right now.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Hey, don't forget about making lunch plans or dinner plans with Taco Casa. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value, and the biggest cactus in town. 6 locations in Northport, Tuscaloosa, West Alabama community to better serve you. One up in Birmingham off of Lakeshore Drive. That's Taco Casa, doing it the right way for 40 plus years and counting. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com. I want to address, Joe, this is a statement that you hear a lot, that NIL is going to ruin college football. No, college football is going to, I think it's going to be different potentially than what it's been. But this is a $1 billion industry. $1 billion industry, everybody. College football, if NIL is just the next step of evolution, would you agree, Joe? Because when you used to come to play college football to get an education, then college football stood a chance of staying the way it was. But now college football is the absolute unpaid, unsponsored, not directly linked farm league or development league for the NFL. It may be different, but I don't think it's going to ruin it. So that's my. Go ahead.
I think it's a little dramatic to say ruin the game.
Right.
You and I and all that. Really, let's be honest, all the Alabama fans, no matter what the landscape of college football looks like, will always be locked into Alabama football and college football as a whole.
Right, because that's like, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, that's your team. You're connected. So Diane Hayes said sponsorship and money is the beginning of the end of college football. No. If you want to find the beginning of if NIL is the beginning of the end, the actual beginning of the end was when they started paying these millions and millions of dollars for the television contracts. That would be the beginning of the end, because that's all a culmination of what happened. Coaches, players, presidents, universities, and everybody began benefiting from this, except for the people who were doing the work, and that's how we ended up where we are today. Hey, Aaron, you're in with the Martin Houston Show on Alabama Hotline. What's on your mind, sir? Aaron, are you there? All right, going once, going twice, sold. Jumbo, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir? Are you there, Jumbo?
Dude, gone.
All right. Hey, guys, if you call up, you're going to have to be patient. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and when a lot of folks calling, you have to hang in there to get in on the show. So I hate I missed you guys, but the phone lines are always open. You're always welcome to call back. Joe, Jimbo made some pretty scathing comments and different things like that. But like I said, I want to go back to that whole, he makes it sound like he had all of these opportunities to come back to Alabama. And as you all, and you pointed out in some notes, that he got turned down by the Alabama Board of Trustees for a $400,000 contract to become the head coach at UAB. Okay? And everybody thought he was going to get it. He wanted the job. Boom. He didn't get the job. The next year, he went to Florida State. And it says that he turned down the opportunity to join the University of Alabama to become the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at Florida State, where he became, the eventual head coach. And many people believe, and if I remember the story correct, he was named coach in waiting. But Joe, if Nick Saban did all of this cheating when Jimbo was there, that makes him either complicit or a co-conspirator, right?
Absolutely.
And for him to have been silent all of these years, Joe, 15 years, supposedly, Jimbo wants me to believe he's had the integrity and honor to his former boss who's narcissistic, thinks he's a god, need to have been slapped when he was a child, and doesn't do anything right. Jimbo Fisher wants me to sit here and believe that while he's been trying to compete against this guy, he's not turned him in. He's never said anything. Is that what I'm supposed to believe based on his thing yesterday? I mean, so you're telling me that he's saying, hey, listen, I've been out here trying to beat this guy knowing that he's a cheater, knowing that he cheats, knowing that he does this thing. He should have been slapped by his dad when he was a kid. He doesn't do anything right. He never keeps the rules. And I've been trying to compete against him. And in the time, Jimbo Fisher, everybody listen up, Jimbo Fisher. Listen, everybody. Joe, Jimbo Fisher has been a head coach for 12 years, right? Yeah. I mean, I counted it up. He's been a coach for 12 years, Joe. Do you know how many times he has lost 3 or more games? I've said this ever since Texas A&M hired him, that he is a 9-3, 8-4 coach. Right?
12 years, 10 of those years?
8. But here's the thing, Joe. Other than the 3-year window at Florida State where he had Jameis Winston, he lost 2 games, 0 games, and 1 game. 2 games, 0 games, 1 game. You remove that, Joe, those 3 years, and you remove the COVID year, he has lost 3 or more games every year of his head coaching career. And he's been, while doing that, he has allowed Nick Saban to be cheating. Okay. Anyway, I got some swampland to say if you believe Jimbo Fisher is a man of integrity. Now, I got one more question, Joe, before I bring Tom in. What was Jimbo's whole, like, his reason for being high and mighty and calling Saban names? Would you say, because he repeated this over and over, he's attacking 17-year-old kids. 17-year-old kids, despicable. 17-year-old kids, their families, this program. So when Jimbo makes the statement that Nick Saban has cheated his entire coaching career, who is he insulting?
All the 17-year-old kids who went to Alabama.
Or the kids that came to LSU while he was there, right? Or the kids at Michigan.
Yesterday, Martin was asked, how much did y'all pay for the 2003 national championship together?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is Joe, he made those statements, and I'm like, listen, man, you just, if Saban insulted yours yesterday, then you just insulted every kid that came to Alabama under him. You just said the only reason Alabama's won is because Nick Saban is a cheater. And then he makes a statement, it's easy to be great when you have all the resources. No one in this league have more access to resources than Jimbo Fisher. Would you say? Would you agree with that? That Texas A&M probably has more access potential than anybody, Joe?
Yes, it'd be hard for us to put a candidate up next to him.
So Jimbo Fisher, it should be easy for you to do that. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Martin, what's going on this morning? Good show.
Nothing much, man. Having fun.
Right. You brought something up that jogs my memory. And it was like 30 years ago when all this, and you brought this up too, about the TV contracts and what it did for the budgets of college sports and
right,
so on. But this happened with basketball before any other time because everybody got panicky when the how much money was going to the NCAA off the basketball tournament because of TV contracts and so forth. And everybody got panicky. So, when they find out how much money we're really making, they just go, well, the players I'm talking about, they gonna go, well, look, we deserve a cut of that, and what they're gonna do, they're gonna come out here in the 5 and 4, and they're gonna say we ain't playing, but we get a cut. What they should have done, really, and so they got a cut of it. You remember that conversation back in the day?
Yeah, way back when, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And see, that started this ball. You're right. When everybody else is filling their daggone pockets up, but guess what? The ones that's taking those licks, sweat, lifting weights, running to a tone, hang out, they weren't getting a penny.
And Tom, here's the thing: the NCAA refused to do anything about it. That's what everybody wants to blame the players and the coaches. The NCAA refused to do anything about it. Listen, and here's the thing: I feel like players should get something from it, but I also believe that it should be college sports, amateur sports. I was fine with if a guy has the ability to go out and do a job, fine. That's fine. Let him build his own business and whatever. But from a school standpoint, this would have stopped a lot of this. If the NCAA had came out and set a couple categories up, you can, if you want, you can start your own business, okay? Right. Offer your name, image, and likeness. That's not sponsorship. That's not boosters. That's not that. Then the other thing is they could have put money back. So for every year that I was a college student, say they put this money back into a trust. I'm earning money while I'm playing, but education is the goal of college. If I get my degree in 3 years, that money becomes mine. If I play a 4th year, I get more. If it takes me 5 years, I get more. Okay? You have a red shirt amount for a red shirt player, first year, whatever year, then you have first year, second year, third year, 4th year, 5th year. But the key is that money is not released until they get that degree. I mean, that was before. That was before. Go ahead. Do what now?
Eligibility.
I'm sorry.
You can tie it to eligibility.
Right. Eligibility. No, I think you.
You can't play unless your grades are there. You can't play, so forth and so on.
Well, they already have eligibility guidelines. So you just enforce those. You just enforce those. But what I'm saying is, if it's about educating, it's too late now. But if the NCAA had done that, then it would have driven education. And guys, think about how many guys leave after 3 years and go to the pros and still come back and get their degrees. That would have been just more money for those guys to get, and it wouldn't cost. It wouldn't have been the true cost of giving them that money. Wouldn't have been as much because they would have been putting it in a fund that would have been growing.
I agree.
So
Something like that is a good idea.
It's too late now.
Here's another thing. That was a missed opportunity for them to step in and say, yes, we need to do something in terms of compensation because everybody else, this is the land of opportunity. Everything in America is supposed to be equal and fair. And, but the NCAA, oh no, we're not giving up none of our money, not one penny of it. Don't get out there and play it. Shut up! And that was their attitude with these players. And then they got the second chance. O'Bannon come in with a lawsuit on video rights. Okay?
Yep.
They had another chance that they could have stepped in and said, okay, you're right. We need to do something. What they do? They went to court and they got their lawyers and they beat O'Bannon down. And now they're paying the price. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, son. All right, come back on the other side. We'll have the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning.
Here's
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Friday morning. Southeastern Conference Commissioner Greg Sankey has reprimanded both Alabama coach Nick Saban and Texas A&M coach Jimbo Fisher for disparaging comments they made about each other's programs. In Birmingham on Wednesday night, Saban voiced concerns with what name, image, and likeness is doing to college sports and called out Texas A&M for abusing it. His former friend, Coach Jimbo Fisher of A&M, responded with a personal attack on Saban. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more. I'm Doug Hurley.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Carving. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Carving can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curve series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Carving. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Carving, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Carving can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Carving at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Carving, LLC.
In a collision, easy decision. Make one call to one name, Mesrano, 206-6300.
Legal services to be performed. Where the quantity legal services performed by other lawyers.
It's beginning to feel a lot like summer, and the Home Depot has savings on everything you need to get it started this Memorial Day. Step up your grill game with propane griddles from Next Grill for the perfect smash burger. Then feast with your friends and family around a new patio set from Hampton Bay. However you plan to kick off summer, the Home Depot has savings on everything you need to do it right. Feels like Memorial Day at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 205-686-1941. That's 205-686-1941. QC Kinetics, 205-686-1941.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
I'll be back right now.
All right. Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Before I forget, I have to say thank you to my dear friend and fellow alumnus and Miss Dana Duckworth, stepping down from the university. Thank you for 27 years of service, entertainment, participation, coaching, volunteering for the University of Alabama, and all that you did as a player, as a champion, and as a volunteer as a champion, a coach as a champion. We appreciate you, thank you, and wish you nothing but the best. All right, Pat, you in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
What's happening here return on SEC coaches. But I got a question. I couldn't, when asked the polling coach spoken, I couldn't think of the last week Lane.
What? You're muffled. I couldn't understand. What was that last thing?
I said, why didn't he go after Sweet Lane? Lane was the one that first bothered that.
What? Okay.
Why didn't he go after Lane? That's his heart.
Pat.
Uh-huh.
So when you see someone who is right and have greater influence over you versus someone who may be right but really doesn't matter, do you pay that any attention? I mean, that's the simple. That's the easiest. That's the that's the easiest answer is if Saban says it and it proves to be true and something happens, then Saban can take away those 5 stars. Those 7 5-stars aren't going to next year's 7 5-stars aren't going to choose Ole Miss over A&M, but they will choose Alabama over A&M if the rules are tight.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's ridiculous. I had a high-profile 2023 recruit family and friends call me wanting to know about name, image, and likeness and about how much work they could get at Alabama. And
how much they can.
What they could get at Alabama is a way for the NFL.
Oh, well, here's and Pat, I got a couple other calls I got to get to try to get out of here on time. But here's the thing, Pat. That's the problem with what you just said. They called you and asked you how much can they get from name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness is your brand. There is no amount you can get. It's based. There will be people who don't even play who will make money and big time money with name, image, and likeness because they know how to build their own brand. So that's the problem with name, image, and likeness is that recruits are calling and asking how much can I get? Well, build your brand and there is no cap on it. So that's how much you can get. All right. All right. All right. Thanks, Pat. Jumbo, you in with the Martin Houston Show on the Alabama One Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning. I'm gonna make this short and sweet.
Go ahead.
Jimbo said yesterday on the interview the interview that he said we didn't pay and then he changed it to any players. So, and he, that right there lets you know that he changed that. So he's done something. And then when he said, talk to Nick and ask him what he's done, well, he was under Coach Saban. So that means he cheated too.
Right.
And his daddy, he said his daddy, he never cheated or did anything or lied. And he said his daddy was slapping him upside the head. Well, guess what? Nick Saban
is his daddy.
His daddy. So he slapped him upside the head.
Nick Saban is his daddy. Hey, Jimbo. Here's Jimbo. Here's the thing about Jimbo is Jimbo. He also kept saying we didn't break any laws. You notice he didn't say we didn't break any rules. We didn't break any laws. So he's correct because he did it by the state, but it did violate NCAA rules. That's why Saban said he bought every player. It's a mess because the NCAA can't turn around and enforce their own rules because the state law overrides the rule. And he's saying we abide it by the rule and not by the law. And so that's what he's trying to get something done. And that's what happened. Sankey, this is going to be on the agenda in spring meetings. And that was one of Saban's goals. The other one was to talk to his recruits. And I'll leave you with this, Jumbo. The guy had like 4 or 5 stars in his history at A&M. He got 7 this year. You asked me if you think he bought players. So, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Chuck, you're in with the Martin Houston Show on the Alabama One Hotline, man. You got about 30 seconds. I'm sorry I'm trying to get it in here, but you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
I understand, brother. This is a slow show, but the thing about it, when Coach Saban developed Jackson State, let me tell you something. The HBCU world is not happy about this. The thing about it, these schools are underfunded, and you bring up Jackson State. Let's face it, Deion Sanders doesn't have to do these things. Just his name, these people are going to look for like Deion Sanders. These young men can relate to him. You know, these guys these are young black males, just like what prime time was. And that's why they go to schools like Jackson State and Eddie George's at Tennessee State. That's why they won it. Because they don't have that kind of money like Alabama and Texas.
Don't be sure. They did, but Chuck, they didn't get 20 guys. They got one guy, the number one guy in the whole country, went to Jackson State. Hey, listen. I don't know what Deion gave him, but Deion, it wasn't just Deion's name, Chuck. I don't know if he gave him $1 million, but that young man got something for coming there.
Yeah, it's legal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Now, but remember, Saban didn't say that they broke a law. He didn't say they cheated. He's saying that the NCAA has a rule that said you can't use money to entice a player to come. He's not saying you can't pay the player, but the state allows it in certain states. It was in the paper. Saban said it was in the paper. You could read about it, and they were bragging about it. Now, when he said they, he never said Deion bragged about it. He said they. I'm telling you, the guy is a master with words, and we don't listen to the words completely. We hear the concept. He didn't say Deion cheated. He didn't say Jimbo cheated. He said they bought players and enticed players to come, which is not a state violation. So they didn't break a law, but it's a violation of the NCAA, and the NCAA is overruled by the state. Thus, they bought players, and it's legal where they're at. So get in it. Either Nick Saban gets in the game, Chuck, or a rule comes down. And that was a shot across the bow. I came in second, everybody. Listen to this, Chuck, and I got to let you go. Nick Saban said, I came in second. And I didn't play the game. I didn't buy players, and I came in second. So I'd be concerned if he got in the game. Have a good one, Chuck. Man, thanks to all the callers. You too. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters, and everything. Thanks, Joe. Me and you'll pick it back up because we didn't even get to have a conversation about this and about was Saban reaching out to my boy Nate Oates with his comment and helping him out. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about more of all of this on Monday. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide and come see us at Harvest Church on Sunday at 10 a.m. Roll Tide, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you.